Hello everyone, welcome back to another video here on Play on GAA with me, Seamus Brady, and in this video we are going to run through all of the hurling action which took place over the weekend. We have 6 games to get through, and honestly, all 6 of them top class, just across the board, and once again, a fantastic weekend for the Hurling Championship. The Hurling Championship does never fail to deliver. So I'm Seamus Brady, I'm going to run through all this, and let's crack into the first game, which obviously is the main one. Limerick survive. Limerick 325, Cork 130 from the Gaelic grounds. Limerick survived by just a point in an absolute epic game in the Gaelic grounds, and really they are true champions, this Limerick team. I mean, the Tipperary game was the main one where I was looking at thinking if they were ever going to fold, now would have been the time. The Cork one again, such fight, such determination, such willpower to get over the line and win. And I was making this point, when you look at dynasties, when you look at the Kerry team in the 80s, when you look at the Dublin team across the late 2010s, when you look at the Kilkenny team at the late 90s, they weren't getting tested right out of the gate. The provincial championships tended to be a bit easier for them. And then when they got into the final stages, that's when the challenges started happening. But this Limerick team, right out of the gate, they're having to deal with Clare, Tip, Cork, Waterford, all teams at such high levels. And that's why I feel like you could argue that this is more impressive, that they've somehow managed to keep themselves alive here. Their backs are against the wall, and they showed such fight to get this victory, saving themselves. Their drive for 4 All-Irelands and 5 months of titles in a row continues. And remarkably, with Waterford beating Tipperary, Limerick are into the Munster final now, where they will have a chance to rematch Clare and to beat them and avenge the victory that Clare got over them in the Munster Championship. And the first thing I want to point out about this game is, wow, the atmosphere. It looked like there wasn't a place to stand left in the stadium. Just an incredible atmosphere. More than 40,000 people packed into the ground for this one. An awesome atmosphere. Tim O'Mahony, Patrick Horgan and Declan Dalton responded to that atmosphere, giving Cork an early lead, 3 points to 1. Limerick fought back and led 7-5 by the 14th minute. But then Cork came back and hit 6 points in a row. Horgan, Dalton, Luke Meade, Darragh Fitzgibbon, all to the fore. You knew Limerick were going to come back, and they did. In the 22nd minute, Limerick hit the back of the net as Seamus Flanagan buried it from close range after being set up by Aaron Gillan. And in the 31st minute, Limerick hit the back of the net again. Cork messed up here, and Limerick punished them. Cathal O'Neill batting past Patrick Collins. Cork hit the last 3 points of the half from Harnedy and Horgan to leave it level at the break, 2-12 to 18 points. Just wow, what a first half. Just what an outrageous game of hurling. And then it was even again in the second half. The game turned on a foul on Aaron Gillan that was awarded on the 40th minute. Now, I've watched this a good few times because it goes on all the time in hurling. Gillan did have his hand on Sean O'Donoghue's hurl, but Sean O'Donoghue did put the hurl there. It's such a hard one to know who was in the wrong there. And to be honest, for a penalty to be given for that, I probably wouldn't have given it personally if I was refereeing the game, but maybe that's why I'm not a referee. But anyway, the penalty was given. Up stepped Dermot Burns. What a penalty. I mean, what a clutch moment. And he has been absolutely fantastic for Limerick in this Munster campaign. Time and time again, when the chips have been down, Dermot Burns has led from the front, and he really is showing the same form that won him Hurler of the Year last year, and he's being an absolute captain and a titan for this Limerick team. After the penalty, Cork fought back. Shane Kingston, Harnedy and Horgan brought them back to within 1, but Limerick then hit 6 in a row. Hegarty, Burns, Hayes, Darrow Donovan, all to the fore. Cork fought back though, as we knew they would. In the 62nd minute, Patrick Horgan hit the back of the net. Nicky Quaid will be upset that he didn't save that one. I thought he had, but the ball still trickled in. Limerick got a point from a goal chance to put them 2 ahead, and now they managed to hold on. Cork got 1 more point back, but it wasn't enough. Limerick get the victory, and somehow, as I said, Waterford went and did them a favour, beating Tipperary, and now Limerick will play Clare in the Munster final, and what a game that is going to be. That will be an absolute epic. Seeing Limerick have the chance to avenge their only defeat of the year, don't miss it. absolutely don't miss it. But credit to both teams. Look, for Cork, they're out, but they have been fantastic in every game that they've played, and they are one of the best teams in the country. And look, I was having a chat with GAA Statsman, big shout out to him, and we were talking that it is unfair that Cork go out at this stage. They have more to offer, they've more to give to the championship. And personally, I'm a Dublin fan. We got out in third place. I think Cork would beat us. I don't really have any ill fates about saying that. Cork have looked absolutely phenomenal in every game that they've played. And for Pat Ryan, his first year with the team, I think he's looking like he's doing an outstanding job with them. He's getting the best out of their forward line. He's got a good, cohesive team there. I think Cork can hold their heads absolutely high. They've been a credit to their county. And both teams were a credit to the game of hurling there. An absolute sensational game. Limerick winning by a point to keep themselves alive. Waterford have just done Cork. Waterford. I messed that up completely. But Waterford have just done Limerick a huge favour, beating Tipperary by 124 to 21 points in Semple Stadium in Thurles. And now with that result, it means that Limerick will play Clare in the Munster final. And honestly, for Waterford, I'm happy for them. They showed fight and heart, and that there is something in this era with Davy Fitzgerald potentially. Waterford fired 7 points to 1 ahead early, 6 in a row. And they really showed that they were serious about this game. They played their best forwards in the forward line. Desi Hutchinson, Patrick Fitzgerald, they weren't trying to put them around the middle anymore. Interestingly, Billy Nolan, who's a goalkeeper, was playing outfield as a sweeper. Davy Fitzgerald trying another mad tactic. It worked there. If it hadn't worked, I think he would have been getting absolute all sorts of abuse. But anyway, it did work. And Waterford pretty much dominated the first half as Tipperary were so flat. Waterford led 17 points to 8 at the break. Stephen Bennett, Desi Hutchinson, Jack Fagan, Patrick Fitzgerald all led the way throughout the first half. Tip twice hit 3 points in a row in the second half, but it was never really going to be enough. And when Desi Hutchinson hit the back of the net, maybe a little bit controversially, it could have been argued that he fell the Tip defender. I don't think he really did, but he hit the back of the net from the resulting possession, and that was game over. It's a promising end to a disappointing year for Waterford. Like, they have been poor in the 3 previous games, but that result shows that there may well be something in this project for Waterford and for Davy Fitzgerald. For Tipperary, it's really disappointing. Like, I really didn't see that one coming from them. They were pretty much like 1 foot in the door of a Munster final. Why would they not have wanted to go for that? Bit confusing, to be honest. Like, genuinely looking at it, how they turned up so flat for this game. Were they just exhausted after the game against Limerick? They were missing Jake Morris, massive blow. They were missing Jason Ford, obviously, as they have been. But I still expected them to have more than this. I still expected them to put up more of a fight than this. Waterford made Tip look like the team that have been flat for the whole Munster Championship. Like, Tipperary did not look anywhere near the team that had gone toe-to-toe with Limerick last week, and they need to sharpen up real quick and get back to that level going into the championship, or they won't be around for much longer. But congratulations to Waterford on picking up this victory. Wexford have survived once again, beating Kilkenny in Wexford Park by 423 to 518. A sensational victory by Wexford as they once again defy the odds and survive in the Leinster Championship. Just a crazy game this is. The crazy thing as well in this game is they made a terrible start. They made an absolutely awful start. And I'd predicted that Wexford were going to go down this time. I thought Kilkenny were going to go to Wexford Park and beat them. And the reality is because last year, Wexford had shown us something. They had drawn with Galway. They had had a good league. We'd seen somewhere in the year that Wexford had the ability. This year, they had been terrible. They'd lost to Dublin, lost comfortably to Galway, lost to Westmeath after being 16 points ahead at half-time, and had a terrible league. So I was thinking they've not shown us anything this year. And then especially when Kilkenny hit the back of the net twice by 17 minutes, goals from Owen Cody and Mossy Keown, I was like, yeah, they're definitely going down now. They're definitely going down now. But then they fought back. Jack O'Connor was brought down in the 24th minute for a penalty. Lee Chin stepped up, buried it in the net, 2-8 to 1-6. Soon after, Kevin Foley got a second goal for Wexford, 2-9 to 2-6. Right back in the game now. Then Conor McDonald, Lee Chin and Rory O'Connor all tied it up at 2-9 each. Diarmuid O'Keefe then sent Wexford in ahead at halftime, 2-11 to 2-10. And really, That comeback at the end of the first half was absolutely fantastic from Wexford. They were showing serious fight. And in the second half, they kicked it up a notch. In the 40th and 44th minute, Liam McGovern hit the back of the net twice. 4-13 to 2-12. His second goal was even more impressive, a one-handed finish from being on the deck. Kilkenny took over from here, from the 62nd minute, from here to the 62nd minute though, sorry. Goals from Owen Cody and Tom Phelan, and another from Owen Cody, completing his hat-trick, made it 5-17 to 4-18, and disaster seemed to be on the horizon for Wexford. But they showed serious fight to come back and win it from here. They pushed on and hit 5 of the next 6 points. Lee Chin, Oisin Foley, and a stunner from a sideline from Cathal Dunbar pushed Wexford on to save themselves. And now, this is the bit where it kind of gets a bit controversial. Wexford still need to make a serious decision about Dara Egan. They need somebody in there who can get that out of them consistently. Because now, Wexford cannot think that they don't have this ability. Kilkenny went toe-to-toe with Limerick last year in the All-Ireland final. Wexford beat them. There's talent in this Wexford team in droves. There's ability in this Wexford team in droves. There is a Leinster title in this Wexford side. They are that good. There is an All-Ireland contender in this Wexford side. They need somebody who can get it out of them. Can Dara Egan get it out of them? Do you think he can? Because they've been so inconsistent under Dara Egan. One game they're amazing. The next game they're terrible. What do you think? Should Wexford stick with Egan? Put it in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. But congratulations to Wexford, because after the other results, Antrim 4-24, Westmeath a goal and 19. Now Westmeath have gone down instead. Now, I mean, talk about from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows. From beating Wexford in a game where nobody thought they were going to win, they have ended up getting relegated after a comprehensive defeat to Antrim, and they're back down to the Joe McDonagh Cup. Antrim hit 2 goals in the 8th minute from Conal Cunning and Connor Johnson. They had them 2-6 to 5 points ahead by the 21st minute. Westmeath pushed back. Owen McCabe got a goal, and Westmeath pushed on to lead 1-12 to 2-7 at halftime. But the second half was where Antrim really took over. And in the second half, because Antrim weren't safe, that was outstanding to see their resolve. From the 41st to the 65th minute, they outscored Westmeath 10 points to 3. And then in the dying moments, Owen O'Neill and James McNaughton both scored brilliant goals as they cruised home to victory and to safety. For Westmeath, it's really disappointing that they haven't managed to stay up. And I have no doubt it's very disheartening to get up, feel like you're making progress, and then be sent right back down to the Joe McDonagh Cup. But hey, they've shown that they deserve to compete at this level, and I think they can bounce back once again. Although the Joe McDonagh, which we're going to get into, is getting seriously intense. The quality and standard is just getting better and better every single year. But congratulations to Antrim, saving themselves, and once again they will be in the All-Ireland Championship next season. Two teams that are in the All-Ireland Championship going further on is Dublin and Galway. Dublin 222, Galway 125 from Croke Park. And honestly, a missed opportunity for Dublin of making it to a Leinster final. Like, I predicted Galway to win this. I just thought they had the better forwards. Galway are into the Leinster final, but not as how anyone would have thought that they would have got there. Dublin led by 10 points at halftime and were absolutely outstanding in the first half. 12 points they led by early in the second half. Keane O'Sullivan got the first goal for Dublin in the 9th minute. Yes, very lucky. He was clearly going for a point. He shortened the grip to avoid being hooked. The shot dropped short. Ainan Murphy took his eye off it. Ball went into the top corner of Galway's net. Soon after, Danny Sutcliffe got Dublin's second goal, intercepting a Galway pass from Conor Cooney and sticking it in the back of the net. Dublin had 9 different scorers in the first half, and they were awesome throughout. I mean, there was no real over-reliance on Donald Burke like there usually is. Dublin were fluid, good attacking, good movement, serious heart and fight once again, which is something that this Dublin team has brought time and time again this year. And we led 2-16 to 12 points at half-time. It does need to be said, Joseph Cooney was outstanding for Galway, and he really kept the scoreboard ticking over when Galway were not performing at the level that we expect them to be at. Then, On the hour mark, there were still 4 in it after Galway had missed a penalty from Conor Cooney, had his penalty saved by Sean Brennan. Galway did have 1-4 on the board, though, at that stage. From the 44th minute to the 56th minute, Galway held Dublin scoreless and put 1-4 on the board themselves. Daithí Burke hitting the back of the net. On the hour mark, there was still 4 in it for Dublin, but there was a sense of inevitability that Galway were going to keep coming back. And they looked like they had won it, with Evan Nyland score looking to have won it for Galway. But Donald Burke got a last-minute free and nailed it to send the game to a draw and share the spoils between the two sides. Not a good enough performance from Galway, to be honest, given the levels that we expect from them. 16 wides they hit. They weren't feeding the ball into Conor Whelan at all. He was standing there screaming for it time and time again. They carried on taking pot shots from out in the distance. That is a symptom of what they were failing to do well under Shane O'Neill. So maybe it's just an issue with the players that they keep shooting from distance. Conor Whelan is one of the best inside forwards you're going to get in the country. So why they don't give the ball to him as often as they can really does baffle me. As for Dublin, fantastic performance. And genuinely showing me that there is some progress being made there. We went toe-to-toe with one of the best teams in the country and should have won the game. So it definitely is showing me that, look, Micheál Donoghue's first year, this is a project. I'm very, very happy with what I've seen there. Very good performance in Dublin and definitely some hope for the future. And speaking of the future, Carlow will be playing in the All-Ireland Championship next season. They are the Joe McDonagh champions for 2023 after an epic game in Croke Park where they beat Offaly by 230 to Offaly's 132 after extra time in Croke Park. What a game this was. I mean, just the fielding, the skill, everything was absolutely epic in this game. And to be honest, Carlow made it harder for themselves. Like, they really did. The first goal of the game came from Charlie Mitchell, the under-20 Offaly captain. He hit the back of the net, but Carlow responded and dominated the first half. They led by 2-9 to 1-7 at the break after 2 goals from Paddy Boland. One just before the half-hour mark and another just before half-time. Carlow forwards, as I said at the start, were incredible at winning their own ball. They were getting out in front, fielding it and scoring it themselves. Hugely, hugely impressive. Carlow also looked relatively comfortable in the second half. They led 221 to 118 on the hour mark, but all of a sudden, Offaly switched on. They outscored Carlow by 7 points to 1 in the last 10 minutes to send the game to extra time. Owen Cahill hit the equaliser with the final puck of the game. Now, Darragh Maher had been sent off for the faithful in normal time. They still managed to get it there. And then in extra time, you were thinking the faithful county are the one to stick the money on here. But Offaly, again, were wasteful in extra time. They hit 24 wides over the entire game, 18 in normal time, 6 in extra time. And Carlow were way more clinical. You've got Martin Kavanagh there, outstanding player. You've got Boland there, outstanding player. And another one, Chris Nolan, who was the most clinical of them all, hitting over a stunning winner to give Carlow the victory in a truly epic final. What a contest. What a game of hurling. And just the standard of the Joe McDonagh Cup now. That's 2 years in a row that I've genuinely watched the Joe McDonagh Cup final and had, like, wow, the quality of this game. Like Antrim Kerry last year, outstanding game. Carlow Offaly this year, outstanding game. The contest between these teams is getting better and better and better. And the gap will reduce between these teams. And if the GAA doesn't decide to pump the funding into these counties, then I don't know what they're playing at, because there's serious potential here in these counties for both of them to hit 30 points on the big day in Croke Park. Shows that the times have changed, where the Joe McDonagh Cup was a competition where you bounce back from. It's not like that anymore. Laois are living proof of that. They will be playing in the next year, having got relegated to it last year. But what a result for Carlow. Congratulations to them, Joe McDonagh Cup champions for 2023. Guys, that is the full hurling recap here on Play on GAA. I will be doing a football recap at 10:30. Make sure you stick and check that one out as well. And get involved in the discussion down below. Let me know your opinions on the weekend. I will respond to them all. And until the next one, guys, take care.